Okay, guys, we're back at it with another comparison here from the authentic to the replication. We got the authentic here, we got the replication here. There's going to be something I'm going to point out on this replication that's, in all honesty, a straight up giveaway. Though it is a top tier, though, as usual, on foot, nobody's going to know. But don't sell reps as retail. Y'all know the drill. They're just for the toe. And of course, we're going to keep it moving. So as usual, first of all, we're going to go ahead, start off with the box labels and so forth, then get into the shoes, and we'll go ahead and shut things down. So let's go ahead, and we're going to start off with the authentic box label here. As you see, crisp, clear, everything is symmetrical. The UPC code you see here ends in 914. We'll compare with the other to ensure if it's the same UPC code. Off-white military blue, Air Jordan 4 Retro, of course, Jordan.com there. Make sure we pay attention to those details, made in China, and so forth. There's the actual QR code there as well. That'll probably pull up the Nike website, which that's just how it goes. So let's move forward now and take a look at the replication. So here is the replicated box label, and as you can see, it is honestly crisp. It's clear. It actually truly looks to be legitimate. It ends in the 914 UPC code as well. And yes, if you scan that, like, if you scan it on StockX or Amazon or whatever, it's going to pull up the shoe. So definitely no question, scammable pair. And the box sizes do match each other, guys. A lot of the reps come with smaller boxes. In this case, it came with the correct box size. So definitely scammable pair, no doubt. But that's why we're going to pull out the differences on the shoes in a moment and see how you can save yourself from getting scammed on these. And one more thing I did want to add quickly before we get into the shoes. You obviously see the quality of the box lid here versus here to the left. Obviously, it's a darker black. The Jumpman is pretty much identical in the shape of it and so forth. And also the reds, in my opinion, pretty much do match. If I had to say there was a difference, I'd say the replication here, the red was a little bit darker. So, okay, let's get into the shoes. Okay, here we are with the shoes. Remember, reps to the left, authentic to the right. Now let's start off with the Nike Air tags. The authentic is a bit more translucent versus the rep, which it really isn't. It is, but it isn't. It has like a hot orange color to it versus the orange on the authentic, which is again translucent and a little bit of a softer tone of the orange. So, all right, let me get these tags out of the way real quick. And let's get to it. Authentic is right here to the right, and the rep is here to the left. So right off the bat, here's where I look every time to determine if which one is the replication. Here on the authentic, you see it's like a gray, right? Like kind of a very light tone gray. You see it's significantly darker on the rep. And in person, this is way darker than you're seeing on screen, guys. So actually the wing here, even though it kind of looks like it could be kind of like a lightish gray, in person it looks white. The wing looks white, and it's gray on the actual replication. So that's my off the rip technique to confirm if I'm looking at a rep or authentic. As you can see here, you see the toe box is different here on the replication to the left. It's a bit more aerodynamic, sharper, where the authentic here is not as aerodynamic. It's a little bit bulkier. Now, I will say this, guys. Nike used like 4 or 5 factories to make the authentics, and I actually have seen this version as an authentic. I've seen it, no doubt. But that's for another story today. But anyway, let's see here. Having a look a little bit further down here. The grays do match right here where the stars are, below the toe box there, the outsole. They do match, and the stars do match as well. Pretty close, except on the rep here, they're a little bit underscaled versus the authentic to the right. And let's have a look here at the tongues. Again, very similar. This is where it gets a little harder. But the tongue is a bit wide, a little bit wonky, like, just like, minor kinks and stuff on the outer edging of the tongue. It looks like you can actually see some of the padding right from the front, the blue padding there in the rear. And of course, having a look at the authentic to the right, you see it's a bit, sharper, shaped, better shape, um, and just much more together. Having a look at the tags, I would say the stitching is better on the authentic. It's a bit tighter, more congruent with each other versus the authentic to the left. And again, we're definitely nitpicking here, but we're just calling out differences. You see here on the replication to the left here, look at that. You see the stitching down low below the word flight? You see how consistent and clean it is here? It's not like big and gets small and gets big. So again, stitching does play a strong role in this stuff, guys. And looking at the military blue Jumpmans, the rep is darker versus the authentic, which is a little bit lighter. Caging down low, very close, very similar. Even the structure of it, let's see. Yeah, they're very close in size and shape in person. On camera, the authentic looks a little bit wider than the rep, but in person, it really doesn't look like that. Also, let's see, caging, both of them are flimsy, is what it is. It fluctuates. Let's look at the caging on the outer here. Okay, again, a little bit bulkier on the authentic here, where my thumb is. As you can see, the caging, the shape of it going around. Here, again, a little bit more aerodynamic, right? As you can see there on the caging. Let's have a look quickly at the sock liner here. Sock liners, very, very similar. Minor difference. Rep a hair darker. Okay, let's have a look here. Now the authentic is on the left this time. Rep is on the right. Okay, Nike Airs, the letters and the Nike swoosh are pretty much the same. The height of the cut of the leather heel here is near identical. But interestingly, on the authentic here, it's a darker military blue versus a lighter military blue on the replication. Also, stitching's tighter and cleaner on the authentic to the left, to the right, just a little bit bigger. Maybe not as tight, but gotta show. There's differences here. There's differences. Pull tabs feel the same. Very good. Let's have a look at the medial now. Oh, one more thing I did want to confirm here. Air unit on the replication is only 2 posts in the air unit. 1, 2. Authentic, we got 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. Typical in size 12s of Jordan 4s. Jordan 3s fluctuate, but in Jordan 4s, for size 12 at least I can say, you get 3 air units. And as you can see here, on the rep to the left, you see how much shorter the air unit is versus the authentic to the right? Probably because one has 3 posts and the other has 2. And looking at the rear bottom outsole from here, colors look identical, pretty much. Let me check something out here. So, okay, like little minor color tone differences on the rep, darker military blue versus the authentic, and darker military blue versus the authentic as well. And let's go ahead and have a look at the other shoes. And it's a wrap, guys. So we'll start fresh again here. Authentic, rep, see the darker gray, as we already pointed out. And there's the pretty much like a off, very light gray or white wing there. Again, having a look here. Now in this case, the caging here on the authentic is a little bit more aerodynamic than the caging here. It's a bit more bulkier there. Now this time around, check out the toe boxes. They almost match. Look at that. The authentic is still a little bit bigger, just a hair a little bit bigger. And this shows you, the toe boxes aren't 100%. From your right to left shoes on authentics, toe boxes can be different too. I've seen it all, guys. And having a look, caging. Again, the authentic looks a little bit smaller. Here we go. The rep, a little bit bigger. And having a look here, feeling here the caging, they feel about the same. Again, 3 air units in the post. 2 air units in the post. Again, the difference in size of the air units. The authentic is significantly a little bit wider, I should say, in length. And a little bit, yeah, to be honest, it is wider and longer. But again, probably having 3 air units. And let's have a look. Yeah, the color. Now, under the camera here, the colors look different. On the authentic to the left here, the color of the mudguard gray looks to be very, very minorly a little darker than the replication here to the right. But in person, that color is pretty much spot on, to be very honest. Toe boxes, the feeling of the leather is the same, to be truthful. Let's have a look at, here we go, looking at the tags on the tongues. You can see here, so on the rep to the right, Jumpman Military Blue is darker than the authentic to the left. And then again, looking at the stitching on the tongue, remember guys, stitching's tighter and a bit cleaner on the authentic here versus the rep, where it's just a little bit of a wider stitch job. And yeah, that inconsistency down there where it looks like some of the stitching, it's stitched well, but it's kind of pulled, you know, it looks like it's pulled out a little bit. And then the flight, it's about the same. Everything looks to be spelled correctly. And let's have a look at the rears again. Having a look here. All right. So again, authentic here on the right, you see it's a darker military blue versus the left, which is a much lighter military blue. Let's see here. Again, here's the stitching, the rear heel on the authentic versus the replication here. Ironically, this time around, replication stitching on the rear in my left looks to be a little bit cleaner than the authentic here to the right. So that's why you got to go over many details of these shoes, guys, to really confirm what's up with it, you know, which is which. But here, the outsole, lighter military blues, and the authentic, darker on the actual replication. And looking at the cagings are near identical here for the medials, but let's see something here. And you see the midsole here where it's glued in and everything meets in the authentic here. It's good, but it's not as clean as the authentic to the left. And we got some nice leather here, some ripples from the stitching, the tightness. There's on the replication here, the stitching's a bit smaller under the wing. And that will do it, guys. So thanks for hanging out with your boy. Hopefully you learned something from the video. You got some information out of it that you didn't have before. And we're going to leave it at that. Till the next one, guys. We're going to do the Lost and Founds within the next week or two. And we're going to do the Travis Scott medium olives. That as well within the next couple of weeks, real versus fake. So, hey, thanks for hanging out with your boy. Y'all know what it is. We out.